Hello everyone and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I am Gina from Gina K Designs and it's great to see all of you joining us here for the comments. Now I know I said Stampin' Chat Live, but today we are doing a premiere, but Tom and I are live in the comments chatting with you. So we are excited to have all of you here. So today I'm going to be using the brand new You Give Me Butterflies bundle that we just released on Tuesday night. And I have a fun idea floating around in my head. I hope it's going to work the way I want it to, but we'll see, right? Anything can happen because it's Stampin' Chat. But before we get started, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Good morning, after evening, crafting noon.
How are
Everybody.
you?
I am great. I hope too many people aren't confused by that intro with us being a premiere, but they should be used to that by now, right?
I think so, yeah. Everybody knows every once in a while you and I have another obligation that we have to be at, and we can't be in the studio, but we can always make a little bit of time to see everybody in the chat. So chat with us in the comments. And also, we wanted to remind you, if you're new to Stampin' Chat Live or you're new to Gina K Designs, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel and click the little notification bell so you never miss another video. Well, Tom, are you ready for today?
Yes.
I'm excited because it's new products, and I really totally exhaust every kit and every bundle that we have. And by the time a new one comes around, I'm always so excited for something new. And I know you guys feel the same way. So I hope you were able to get your bundle on Tuesday night. Well, let's take a look at the bundle once again. Here we have the brand new You Give Me Butterfly stamp set. Now, you may have seen a few cards floating around in our group because we actually released this to a select group of people back in the spring who attended a class in Nashville called the Nashville Retreat. So about 100 of them went out and they were able to use this stamp set, and I know they, shared some of their projects in our group already. And a lot of you were like, oh my gosh, what is that? I have to have that. So it's finally here and I'm so excited. Now this stamp set also has a coordinating stencil set so that you can color in all of the images. And I'm especially fond of the butterfly stencil because it gives you the opportunity to stencil this all in one color, or to pick select parts of this butterfly and stencil it in 3 separate colors. So let me just show you a little peek here of one that I did earlier. You see what I mean? How you can jazz it up by selectively stenciling. And the thing is, you could of course color this with Copic markers or colored pencils and get the same look, but this is like a 2-minute coloring thing, and it gives you all that beautiful shading, so it looks like you shaded with Copics or colored pencils. So this is something that I'm really fond of. I feel like this looks like stained glass. Don't you think so, Tom? It's got a stained glass look about it.
It really does, yeah.
So that might be a future project coming up, hint, hint, so stay tuned for that. And then it has a full die set, including all of the greetings, which I love because these greetings cut out so nicely. And I cut one of them out here for today's project, and you can see what that looks like. You're an awesome friend. I love how that cuts out so beautifully. So it's got all of the greeting dies and all of the image dies. Now my card today is a little extensive, so I'm going to get started right away, but I hope you guys are excited about this one as I am, because I am super excited about it. All right, so I'm going to start with my Misty, and I'm going to do a little bit of stamping first. So I have a large piece of white cardstock here. This is a half sheet of the Gina K Designs Layering Weight White. And I'm going to stamp all of the flowers. I'm going to stamp, let's see here, 1, to stamp 3 of the flowers. Then I'm going to stamp the butterfly. And I'm going to stamp the leaf. So all of those. Now, I already stamped and cut my greetings, so I think I'm just going to use this one for the card, especially because I have a lot of other die cutting and stuff to do, so I don't want to really waste too much time with that. And it's not like you guys haven't seen me stamp and cut a greeting before. All right, so I'm going to stamp this with black onyx. And let me find black onyx. I don't know. Did I put that away? Where's my black onyx ink? I know you're here somewhere. Oh my goodness, where is my ink pad? Well, you know, this is the way it goes sometimes. When you're scattered and trying to get it done, you lose things. So let me see if I have an ink cube that I can use. And I do. That's an embossing ink cube. Here is a black ink cube. And hopefully, as I, look around on my desk, here it is. My goodness. Okay, that makes it easier. All right, so I'm going to ink this all up completely. Because I want to stamp this a couple of times because I want these images to be nice and dark. So I'm going to use my Chucky tool for this. All right. Now that's one stamping. Let's give it a second round here to get it nice and dark. And these stamps are new, so I haven't done much with them. As you stamp and you continue to stamp, the stamps will work on the first try. It just takes a couple of times of playing with them to really get that nice, crisp, dark image the very first time. But that looks pretty good. So I'm going to do one more round of these. I'm not going to use them all, but since they're all already on the Misty, I'll save the butterfly. I'm only going to use one butterfly, but I'll save that butterfly for another card. As long as you're stamping, right? Might as well stamp a few extras. Okay. So again, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to stamp it twice to get it nice and dark. And the great thing about these bundles is it's a great way to just fully immerse yourself with a stamp set, a die set, and a stencil, and make a whole bunch of cards with it that you can make over and over again. I love bundles because they're small and you can take them with you when you're traveling if you just need a couple of things. I think they're just a great value. Okay, so I'm going to clean this one up. And then I'm going to take off the butterfly and the flowers because I think I have enough of all of that. And then I'm going to stamp a couple more leaves. So I'll stamp a leaf here. I think I'm going to do 6 leaves. So I'll need to stamp 4 more. So there's one. Just put that other piece of cardstock in there. Now, if you guys haven't seen anybody do anything with this yet, I'm telling you this, I love the idea of being able to stencil the color onto my images. And I know that we've got other stencils in our collection that you can either stencil and cut or you can stamp and cut. But I love these big, bold images where you can stamp it in the bold ink and then fill in with the stencils. And that's just a little bit different. We don't have a whole lot of that in our collection. And I'm really loving how easy it is to get a nice blend and how it just, I don't know. It's like if you're not feeling real competent with Copics or colored pencils, this is just so quick and easy. Plus, it really helps you use some of those ink pad colors that you haven't used in a while. Try these with all different colors you have in your collection. You can make subtle cards for things like sympathy. You can make bold, fun cards for birthdays. And all right. Well, I'm going to move this out of the way, and then we're going to do a little bit of coloring. Now, I'm going to grab a little piece of paper here. Okay. And then I'm going to tape this down onto this scrap paper. Maybe I should zoom in just a little bit here. Did that make all the difference in the world? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So I'm just going to tape this down and just to keep it secure. And then I'm going to stencil all the flowers first. Now, one of the things that I really like about this stencil is you can shift the stencil just a little bit to create a look like this. Do you see that? How there's little white lines in there? I love the way that looks. Now, not everybody likes the way that looks, but I love the way that looks. I love to see the little white lines. It feels like it gives it an extra tone that would be really difficult to do with colored pencils and markers because it's such a straight, perfect line, and it just follows right around the edges. So all you have to do is just shift the stencil ever so slightly to get that look. So if, let's see here.
It's a highlight.
It is a highlight, exactly. So you see how like all the black disappears when I go like that? Now if you just move it a tiny bit, you'll get that little bit of white in there by like letting the little black lines show. But it's up to you. I like to let it happen naturally. If it's going to happen, it happens. If it isn't going to happen, then that one will be solid. It doesn't matter that much to me. Now I'm going to do something similar to what I did with our video where we did the two-tone stenciling. Because what I'd like to do is I'd like to have all of my flowers and leaves in a light version for the background. But then I want my butterfly to really stand out with a darker version. So I'm going to stamp my different elements here with these three colors and the leaves with some spruce. I am going to do up the leaves a little bit more, maybe. We'll see. But I need everything to be kind of light because it's going to be in the background. And I don't really have to tape this stencil down. If you want to, you can. But I don't think it's really necessary because it's such a fast little bit of stenciling. So I'm going to start with the light orchid. And if you remember my last card, I finished up with dark orchids. So I'm going to just clean off my brush a little bit on my little scrap of paper towel there just to clean it. All right. Now I'm going to line that up. And then I'm going to ink up my blending brush with some light orchid. And starting in the center, I'm going to give that some light orchid and then work my way out. My finger's a little bit in the way there. But I love how soft that is. That's so beautiful. Now, I'm going to, let's see, maybe I don't even need to tape this down, but while I have the orchid pad out, I'm going to pick a different flower because I don't want everything to be exactly the same. Maybe I will tape it down. So I did this one with the light orchid. So on this one, I think I will do this one with the light orchid. Now this one is a little bit tricky because the little bendy things bend out of the way, so you might want to just pop them back into place. It's a super delicate stencil, although if it's not perfect, it still looks really good, and so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But I'm going to do this one in the light orchid as well. So again, just doing a circular motion. And if you want, you can go back the other way. There we go. Just a little bit of orchid in there. Okay, so now I'm going to do my next design, and I'm going to do this one here, and I'm going to pick a different color. So I'm going to go with Sweet Mango for this one. Now, Sweet Mango is not one of our trios of colors, but you can certainly use Sweet Mango, Tangerine Twist, and Tomato Soup as a trio. So those three colors work really nicely together. Sweet Mango, Tomato Soup, well, Sweet Mango, Tangerine Twist, and Tomato Soup. That'll give you a light, medium, and dark. Okay. So let's get that into place. And you can see all you have to do is make sure that things are covered, and it'll be pretty centered. Okay. So we've got the Sweet Mango going here. I'm not going super dark. There we go. So So pretty and soft. And then we're going to switch and do a different flower. So I think I'll do this one here. I am going to give this stencil a quick wipe with the tidy towel because it's got some pink on it. And then I'm going to just dry it a little bit with a paper towel, just in case. You know how sometimes water can get underneath your stencil. Okay, so this one is going to be sweet mango as well. All right, hold everything in place. Sweet mango counterclockwise and then clockwise. There we go. See, I love the little white spots. That just happened, but that's kind of, I love that. So now we've got the orchid on both, and we've got the sweet mango on both. So now we need to do the light lilac on both. And that leaves two different designs once again, which that's a good thing. Okay, I'm just cleaning that off. And now we're going to go with the light orchid. And again, I mean the light lilac. And again, I am going to have to rub this brush off because I did use the darker lilacs last time. And I just have one brush really for each of those color families. And I just rub the color off. Okay. So we'll line this up. They line up very easily. And we'll go with the light lilac. That is such a pretty purple. Woo, I love it. Very soft. And we're going to do the same thing over here. And we will stencil this one in light lilac. I'm going to stagger that just a little bit and see if I get some of the white space in there. Yes, okay. So there's those. Now we're going to do that last color, the light spruce, and we're going to do the leaves. And we have lots of leaves to do, and I really like to stagger the leaves a little bit. So if you get it right on, it's just going to fill it all in. But if you stagger it just a little bit, it is going to leave that white. And I love that. Let me get a green brush. Here we go. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Light spruce. See the little white marks? I feel like it's exactly what Tom said. It's a highlight, and it's kind of like some people put a lot of time into creating that look with a white gel pen. And you can get it just by staggering your image just a little bit. They put the highlights in with a white gel pen. But why not just do them right from the start? See how cute they are. All right, we'll finish these last three. You can see how easy this is to color. Now, if you wanted to go back in and you wanted to add deeper, layers into these flowers and into the leaves using the medium or the dark versions of these colors, you certainly can. But, just to be transparent here, I am going to be covering a lot of this, because I'm going to turn these leaves and flowers into a wreath. So a little bit different than wreath building, but it is building of sorts because you're using die-cut pieces. All right. Now it's time to tackle the butterfly. Now with the butterfly, I'm going to be using all the deeper versions of these colors because, like I said, I want my butterfly to really pop off of the cardstock, and I want it to pop off of the design. So when you have all of these soft muted colors behind, it's going to look really good. If you use all the same colors for both the background and the butterfly kind of gets lost in it. So let's start with this top stencil right here, and we're going to do that one in Tangerine Twist. So a much more vibrant version of orange here. All right, so I have that in place. I'm holding everything down with my fingers. And here we go. Ooh, I love that color. You do want to make sure that you press a little bit to get into the holes, because there are tiny holes in this. Now, if you wanted to go a step further, you could take some tomato soup and just go right along the edges in here, but I'm not going to do that. I think this is going to look pretty and shaded enough. So there's the first layer. And if you don't want any white and you see a little bit white, you can always go back over it, because this is a big, bold image. So if you didn't fill it in all the way and you want to, it's probably just going to go into the black line a little bit, and you can go back and you can add more to fill it in. Okay, so my next color is going to be the medium orchid. I'm going to do that one with this smaller version right here, this one. And you can see it's super easy to line up. Just have to find it. There we go. And let me grab my orchid brush with the medium. And I am going a little lighter as I go out. Going real heavy in the center. I love that look. There's the second layer. And now we're going to add that third layer with the medium lilac. And we're going to just line that up. Now, if you wanted all one color, let's say you wanted this to look more like a monarch and you wanted everything to be orange, just do each layer and stick with the same color. It's very easy to do. But I love how you could even just do 3 different orange colors or 3 different pinks. And so you still have a pink butterfly or an orange butterfly, but you're, you still have that shading in there because there's different layers of the stencil. I think that's so fun. Let's get a little heavier in the center here. Okay, here we go. Now look how beautiful and vibrant that is. But it still has that pretty shading that you would be really working to get with Copics or colored pencils. Okay, so now we're going to do some die cutting. And I'm going to save this butterfly for later, so don't worry about her. She's not going to be wasted, but I figured while it was on there, I might as well stamp it. Because then if I need a card quickly, it's all ready to go. And I am going to move these stencils out of the way because leave it to me to lay my nice project on an inky stencil. I know, you've never done that, right? We've all done it. Okay, so I'm going to cut these out using the die set. We've got lots of dies to choose from here. You could do them all at once if you want and tape them all down, or you could just do some quick die cutting. I'll probably use the assistance of a little pixie tape here and see if I can get a few of them done at once. So they should be very easy to line up because they're very symmetrical designs. So if you want to tape them down, you can do quite a few of them at the same time. And if you're even more worried about it and you want it to be absolutely perfect, you can also use my template tip. And I also, I did that template tip on a short video too, which is on YouTube. If you go to my channel and you click on shorts, my short videos, I have the template trick on there as well. So it's a 1-minute video that just shows you the template trick. I think, sometimes that's good because you don't want to search through a bunch of live videos trying to find that one tip. So I've been trying to do some of that and share just those tips in a quick 1-minute video. And we're going to be able to cut one leaf here. Now I could use this leaf. You guys like this color? Because I did this one in Lucky Clover. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll use, well, no, I need 6 of them, so I gotta go with this. We already went through it. Might as well use them. It is a little less die cutting, but I'd have to stamp one more and do it in Lucky Clover. I don't know. It's probably just as easy to go ahead and do this and then cut out those last couple of leaves quickly. So I love these whimsical, fun, kind of graphic style images. I don't, you know, we have a lot of very realistic flowers in our collection at Gina K Designs, which I love. I mean, you know, the illustrators that are able to do that, wow. But every once in a while, it's fun to have something more whimsical in your collection, a little more, I don't know, it's maybe a little more youthful, like something you could make for a teenager or a young girl, something like that. Although if you made me this card, I'd be pretty happy. I love these images. So Tom, I know it's early, but I can already sense, even though we're not live, I can already sense that there's going to be some people who would be hoping for a word of the day. And we didn't really talk about whether or not you were going to do a word of the day for a premiere, but what do you think? Do you have one available?
Is it time for the word of the day?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the word of the day today is inspired by that very popular canned meat product, Spam.
Oh, Lord.
Spam. Have you ever had a culinary encounter with Spam?
I have not.
That doesn't surprise me.
I haven't. I'm a picky eater. But Spam, I mean, I don't even know. Some people love it, so.
Yeah, some people really love it.
They do.
So
So I'm not going to make too much fun of it.
for some reason, I ended up seeing a bunch of a few videos on like TikTok or Instagram or one of those things where people were really using it in creative ways and cooking with it, and they were excited about it. And it got me thinking of the word of the day. So if you are really talented at using Spam in all kinds of different ways, you would be spambidextrous. Right? Spambidextrous. Spambidextrous.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's so. But spam also has a meaning in our modern world too, right? A spammer
Oh yeah.
is somebody that's kind of like, hitting your website or your thread or your
Email.
with a bunch of ads or just kind of junk mail kind of thing. And so that led me to think, spambidextrous. If you're really good at like, conning people on the internet.
Conning people?
Yeah,
You're a con man?
You're a scammer.
Yeah.
Scammer. You're also scambidextrous. So spambidextrous and scambidextrous are the words of the day, sponsored by that fine meat product.
Sponsored by. Oh, that's great. That's very funny. Yeah, I'm very excited to read the comments. I would love to know how many of you were raised with Spam in your house. Maybe you still are. Maybe still do it. Is that a Philadelphia product? Did that come out of Philadelphia, Tom?
I don't think so. I think that is
Oh, I know. That's Scrapple, right?
Scrapple was Philadelphia area. Yeah.
Yeah, Scrapple. Ooh, look at that butterfly. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, that cut out so nicely. All right, just one leaf left to go. And I am taking my dies off because I know you guys are yelling at me, don't throw away your dies. And I deserve to be yelled at ever since I threw those leaves away that I never found. Yeah, Scrapple's a Philadelphia thing. But I mean, it's kind of the same, isn't it?
How would I know?
I don't know. You grew up with all of that, right?
It kind of looked the same if you look, well, no. I think Spam had bigger chunks of stuff in it. Scrapple, they
We
got
have
it
to
down.
re-record this video.
They got it down pretty fine. The resolution down to a very fine.
The resolution?
Yes.
Oh, man. Food is strange. It's a strange topic. It really is. All right, so I've got all my things cut out just in time before we talked about any more food. Okay, let me move this all out of the way. I did get all my dies. Ooh, yes, I love the way this is looking already. Now, here they are. Here's all the pieces. Oh, they're so pretty. And you can see, obviously, the flowers are much more subdued, but it's nice because they're in the same color family, so they're going to work really nicely together for this card. Let me put my dies away before I lose them. Now, I think I want to do an embossing folder. I want to do one of our embossing folders to add a little texture. So, of course, I don't want anything very, very crazy. So, I want to do something like, let me take a look here. I think maybe the Swiss dot would be a good one. And the other one that might be a good one is the... You know what, let's go with Swiss dot. That's going to be my favorite choice here, I think, in this. It's super subtle, and I think it's going to be a nice background. So I'm going to cut another piece of white cardstock down here. Maybe I should back out just a little bit. That's a lot of paper cutter. I'm going to cut another piece. Now for this piece of cardstock, you could cut it out with Master Layouts too if you wanted to. I'm just going to cut mine with a paper cutter here because I really don't want any particular edging on here. And I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4 of an inch by 5 inches. So actually, you could cut that out totally with Master Layouts 1 because that would give you that exact size and no fancy edging. So if you want to do that, you could do that with Master Layouts 1. And then I've got a piece of black cardstock here. I think it's going to be too small. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut a new sheet of black. Oh well, it's not like I'm not going to use it. Y'all know that. So I'm going to first cut it in half so I can put that half sheet away. And then I'm going to cut this one down. You can use Master Layouts 1 for this as well. I'm going to cut it to 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. So that is the exact 2 dimensions of the large rectangles in Master Layouts 1. And that gives you that nice little shadow edge. All right, so we're going to use this embossing folder. So now I have to get this going again. So we'll get this back up here. Now for embossing folders, there's a couple ways to do it. You can either use the base plate and a clear plate and then a bunch of shims, cardstock shims, or you can use the embossing plate. I'm going to use the embossing plate because I want this embossing to be very deep, although it is a tight fit, so you do have to, it's a good workout, actually. It's a good workout. Okay, so I'm going to place this. Now, when you're doing the Swiss dot, you do want to make it even, you know, so just kind of look at it and try to get it as even as possible. Use a row of the dots on each side to try to get it as straight as you can. And look at the top as well. That looks pretty good. I think that's going to work. Now I'm going to put that in there, and then this plate on top, and then I'm going to get it going. Now I've got to put a little mussel in here. It's going to make a sound as it comes out the other side. But if I can do it, you can do it, because I am not a strong person. Okay, look at that beautiful embossing. I love it. This really is one of my favorite embossing folders. It's timeless. It'll work with anything, and it's like understated elegance, you know? I love it. All right, let me move this out of the way. Oop, sorry about that. I saw those microphone monitors jump. All right, so I'm gonna lay this on top of here. Let's zoom in just a little bit. Okay. Let me find my tape. I'm gonna put a little tape on here. And I think I'm probably going to do a white card base too on this one, because I really want all the color to come from the images. Now my layout, I wanted to do something where I had a flower at the top, and you don't have to do it straight up and down. And then we'll do one here. And then we need a purple one over here. So I'm trying to not just mix up the colors, but I'm trying to mix up the images too. So rather than using this one here, since I already have that flower here, I'm using a different one. Okay, and then I'm going to switch up the pattern. So I think I'll do this one down here in the middle. This one over here, because then it's opposite of that, and then this one over here. So now there, I did all the thinking on that, so you don't have to, you can just copy that. And then I'm going to pull them out a little bit. Just pull them off the cardstock a little bit. And I told you, I didn't do a whole lot of shading on this because I'm going to be covering this. Now, I wasn't sure what I wanted to cover it with, if I wanted to cover it with a circle, like that. But I thought if I did a circle, I'd probably want to get them closer together, or do an extra flower in there. I really like the way this oval looks. Let me put these together. So these are our double-stitched and our single-stitched ovals. And when you put the double-stitched over the single-stitched, you get that same little shadow layer that you get with Master Layouts 1 and 2, and all the Master Layouts, actually. This one, I don't know what I was doing when I cut it, so I'm just going to take a little nail file. You can do this with a nail file. You can do it with your blending stump thing cleaner. I'm just going to go around the outside to get rid of any shreds. I cut a bunch of these for classes that I taught, and I must have used one set of dies probably over 1,000 times. Very rarely do I have to change out a die, but this one I did actually change out. So these are some of the leftover pieces. Okay, so now we've got a nice little oval there. And so you can kind of see the layout here. Now I'm not done because I want to add my greenery in there. So we could do a little greenery up here, like this. Up on this side. We can do a little greenery down here on this side. I have to lay the whole thing out first before I decide what I want to do. I do like that. I think that that's really pretty. But I think I might want to add one more piece of greenery in there. We could do it up here, like that. And then down here, just to give it a little bit more. And then my butterfly would go in the center. And my greeting would go right here. So that's what the layout that I'm thinking. Now, we can also look at it as a circle. So let's do that. So if we did the same thing here, and we got it a little bit tighter, I was thinking to do this kind of like you would see the wreath builder where the leaves would kind of follow around as well. If we did the circle idea, where you'd have like a leaf here, and a leaf here, and then one here. We've got to switch this up. We could do this. Like that. So that's more circular. Now the sad part is I can't ask you guys during a premiere which one you like the best, but you could kind of get an idea of how you could follow that around, kind of like wreath building, where you have the leaves kind of going around, and then you could use the circle in the center like that and kind of just finagle the leaves a little bit and the flowers so that you see a little bit more of them, and then have that butterfly in the center and the greeting coming up on the butterfly a little bit. So that's kind of cute too. I like that, but I think I prefer the other one. I think what will help is to have a card base under there. So let me get my big paper cutter out and we'll cut a white card base. Because again, I don't want to, I know that's way too close, but I don't think you need to see me cut this at 4 1/4 inches, and I don't want to totally adjust the whole camera for that second that we were doing that. So I'm going to score this at the 4 1/4, the 5 1/2 inch mark. Okay, here we go. So let's go back to that other layout. We definitely can tape this down now because we know what we're doing here. And that'll tell us how far out we can go over the edge with our flowers too. So I don't think it matters which pink I use. I think I use the other pink one, but I can go over the edge there. Like that. That is pretty. So it's kind of more, instead of a wreath, it's more like a cascade or a, what do they call these, Tom? Do you know what they call these? I know there's a word for it. Like a bow? I don't know. I know everybody's saying it now. Too bad they're not here right now. But I'll be thanking you in the comments for when you tell me what it is. So let's do that at the top. And then we'll go with this one here, this one here, and we could pop some of these up too if we want to, and then we'll do the opposite. We'll get the double leaf going over here on this side. And then the single leaf coming down here. Okay. So let's get those in place first. I'm going to do the leaves first because I want the flowers to stay where they are. Yeah, I can't think of what it's called, but thank you for all of you that are telling me what it's called.
Bow is great.
Bow is great. But I always think of holly. So here on this one, I'm going to go flat with these because we're going to be doing a lot of popping up. So we'll put this one there. This one here. And then this one. here, like that. Now see how this one is like on top? I kind of like it being different, where these two are underneath and this one is in the center on top, where this one is tucked under this one. I mean, I know it's probably, most people wouldn't notice, but card makers would. We would notice, right? Ooh, did I not put, I didn't put this leaf down. I didn't do these leaves. For crying out loud. There we go. Card makers, we notice little things like that with each other. We're like, oh, it's cute that you did that on that side and did something different over here.
And your spouse.
And your spouse, yes, your spouse notices.
No.
Oh, your
I mean,
spouse doesn't notice?
You notice little things about things your spouse does.
Yes, it's true. It's true. All right, let's do that. We'll turn it just a little bit too. Okay, so now we've got the basic design here. That would actually be pretty that way too. A card that would be like sideways like that. I think that would be really lovely. You can also do it this way. That would be so pretty. So it's a layout that's really versatile. You can do it a couple different ways. I really like it that way. That's really pretty. Of course, the card would open like this, but who cares? Maybe that would be cool. We can look at it with the circle too, and you get to see a lot more of the flowers if you use the circle. And we can kind of tilt the butterfly and pop the butterfly up. So let's pop a bunch of things up. Which one are we using, though? That's the question. Are we going to do this? Kind of like it sideways. I'm going to end up doing it sideways.
The circle really does let a lot of the flowers through.
Do you like that better?
I do.
Okay. Let's go with Tom's way, then. All right, so we're going to do the circle. And then we can put the butterfly a little off the circle at the top and then the greeting a little off at the bottom. I like that look. It feels very much like the butterfly is just hanging out in the flowers. You can also tilt the butterfly a little bit. Do you like that, Tom? The butterfly tilted a little bit?
I do.
Okay, we're going with Tom's idea because I don't have all of you guys today screaming at me, which I love and need. So we're going with Tom's idea. So let's pop up the circle first. This is why I didn't want to pop up the flowers, too. Card would be like a foot tall. So I'm using the Gina K Designs foam squares, and these are very thin, so you can double them up if you want a little more loft. You know what I like about the circle, Tom? Good choice. I like the idea that we can put some pearls in the center of these flowers then. Love that. Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Is that what you're... I knew it. I knew you were thinking that. All right, so we're going to turn the butterfly as per Tom's request. I like it. Good idea. I'm going to use foam squares to pop this up too. Yep, that's how that will look. Looking good. And then we're going to have to use a foam square as well on the greeting. We're going to go up a little higher on the butterfly here. I'm not pressing that down yet in case I want to move it. But, okay. So, I like that. Now, we're going to put tape on this part, your N. We're going to put tape on that. And then we're going to put foam squares down here. So we can use the smaller Gina K foam squares. There they are. Because we don't want it to go over the, let's see here. Yeah. We'll get a couple of them on here. This one, the liner came off. So, put that there. I think that's going to be good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got it everywhere we need it. Okay. So I'm going to pull these liners off, and then we're going to add some embellishments. Okay, we need that to be straight, but we want it to hang off a little bit. There we go. You are an awesome friend. Now, I do want to show you, I have some darker pieces that I had been playing with before. So if you wanted the flowers to go all the way around, I mean, these aren't the right colors, but you could see you could do that. You could trim them off. You could cut them down so that, I know that's scary, but you could cut them down so that, you know, they don't stick out, and then you could continue the wreath. But I kind of like the break in there. It feels like it's very framed out. All right, well, let me get a little Gina K Designs glue, and we're going to put some little pearls in the center of each of these. I'm going to put one under there too, even though you can't see it straight on. Because this has got so much lift, you might be able to see it. Now let's take a look at these colorful pearls. Do we want to use these, or do we want to use metallic? I think metallic. I would like to have a little sparkle in here. So maybe we'll use, we could use gold or silver. Do I have any little gold ones left? I used a lot of the little gold ones. I do. We can use a couple different sizes too. So we can use this tiny gold one that I just dropped back in there on this, because that's kind of a tiny flower. And then we could use a bigger gold one in here, so like a medium in there. And then I need another couple tinies. I think I have them. I think. Can't even see what's tiny. I did use a lot of these. Oh, there's one. That one needs a tiny one. So you can see that's, oh, I like this. I like the little bit of gold in there.
Zoom it in a little.
Zoom in? Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to hold my jewel picker and the zoomer at the same time. How's that?
Yes.
That's a little close, but okay, there we go. All right, so a couple more. I'm just digging through my little pot of, there's a gold one. So you can barely see these, but they're there. I mean, if you know, if you're looking at the card and you turn it, you want to see it. This one down here, I don't even know if anybody will see this one, but I'm doing it anyway. You would see it, you know, if you just turn it a little bit, you see it in there. And then we'll do a medium-sized one on there. Pretty pretty. And then I don't know, should we add any there or should we just leave it? We could accent this guy's head. I have to find a medium black one. I went to town on one project that used these black ones, but we could like accentuate this guy's head just to give it a little dimension in there. Why don't we do that? All right, wish me luck. His head's kind of an oval, and we're gonna round it out a little bit. That looks good. I like that. And then you have that nice little dotted texture in the background too as part of it. Oh, I like it. What do you think, Tom?
Yes, yes. That's fun to look at.
It is fun to look at. So I definitely have some cool projects coming up with this set. I especially want to do some stained glass look with this butterfly. I think that that would be really pretty to do. Yeah. All right, well, there's my finished card. Let me just push all of my stuff out of the way. There we go. There's the finished card. Things are still rolling back. All right. Well, everybody, this was so much fun. I hope you guys had fun today. And I already know, it's not like I'm a psychic or anything, but I already know that Tom and I had a lot of fun with you in the comments today. So I can say that without doubt. And we really appreciate you being here and supporting us, even though we couldn't be live today. I hope that you really enjoyed this card, and I hope you give this bundle a try. We're going to have a lot of fun with it, and I think it's going to mix and match really well with some other layering things that we have in our collection as well. So I've got ideas brewing. All right, everybody. Well, this is so much fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Tom and I will be back next Tuesday night with another Stampin' Chat Live, so stay tuned for that. Stay safe, stay healthy. We love you all so very much, and mwah, we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.